So you're feeling backed up and maybe also foggy or tired or bloated like so many people are with their constipation. And you tried to eat more fiber, you tried to drink more water like everyone's telling you to do, and you also tried those gut health tricks on Instagram, at least as much as you can learn in a 30-second video anyway. And that just didn't work either. And so leaving you disappointed and still backed up. Well, that's not just a digestion issue. That's the problem here, is that we're not looking at the whole systems of the body. It's a whole systems issue. And the trick is figuring out which one it is that's causing the issue. So Dr. Adam, we work with hundreds of people with a functional medicine approach to really get to the cause and look at the whole body as a whole that way, and not just treating symptoms like constipation. So in this video, we're going to get to the bottom for you of which of these systems might be causing your constipation so you can resolve it and finally live life feeling lighter. So if you're not pooping daily, then your body isn't eliminating, because your body uses the gut as one of its main detox organs to get rid of the toxins, right? So it's one of the main ways your body does it. And so if you're not eliminating, then you're reabsorbing the toxins, the waste. Even estrogen for women is metabolized, and once your body uses it, and then the excess or the remainder is then released through the stool. But if you're not having bowel movements regularly, then that's staying in your circulation. So that's why you might feel inflamed or puffy or moody and tired, no matter how clean you eat. So this is not about your toilet routine. This is about your liver, your thyroid, your brain, your nervous system being out of sync. So what we see in a lot of the women that we work with all over the country, we work virtually on Zoom, is getting to know them and asking them about their symptoms, that we get a clue as to one or more of these things is going on. And so let me show you here. So if you feel full after a few bites or nausea with fatty foods, then that's your bile flow here. Okay, bile comes from the liver, it's stored in your gallbladder. And that can create issues when you're not properly flowing bile into your digestive tract, because bile is how you break down fat. And so it'll leave you feeling sluggish, like sluggish digestion, basically. Then if you're someone who has cold hands, thinning hair, brain fog, and you're backed up, that's a sign that it's the thyroid. Right? And a lot of women have underactive thyroids. Even if it's not clinically diagnosable as hypothyroidism, there still could be room for improvement. Right? So that hypothyroidism is largely undiagnosed, at least in this way. Maybe not outright disease, and often it is, actually, and often autoimmune in women, but at least a subclinical way where we just have room to fine tune it. And so your symptoms might be explained by when your doctor looks at your tests and they say, oh, well, this looks fine and you look normal, so just keep on taking your thyroid medication and you feel the same. That's why, right? Because they don't understand how to interpret labs to look for how it can be improved, even if it's not optimal. Now, the last system here is the brain and the nervous system. And so this contributes in people who feel wired but tired, especially at night. If you have a propensity toward anxiety and feeling stressed, if you're a light sleeper overall, and you have slow bowels, these are all signs that the nervous system is off, that it's usually overtaxed and overstressed. It's stuck in high alert mode. Okay, so these systems all run digestion, all three of these. And if they're off, then you just aren't able to go, okay, period. Now, I know this is a little gross, but we got to look at poop. And so your gut, your bowel movements tell you a lot about your health. And so this is how you know you're constipated. This is the Bristol stool chart, and it gives you an idea of the different forms of stool, and ideally where we want to be is in the middle with a type 4. We want it nice, well-formed, like a sausage shape, smooth and soft, easy to pass. And so if you're up here, especially at type 1 or type 2, where it's dry, pebbly, hard to get out, kind of lumpy, that's a sign that you're constipated. Even if you're going every day, if you're a type 1 or 2 here, then you're constipated. So then what do we do about it? Well, the fixes, here we go. So we have the first thing here is if bile is your issue, then we want to use bitters, bitter herbs, bitter taste to stimulate bile flow. That's what bitter taste does. So that can be bitter herbs. You can use a bitter spray. We often recommend that for people that we work with, or You can eat bitter greens, like dandelion greens, for example. Okay, so that's the first thing that will help if there's a bile issue. Next is thyroid testing. We talked about proper thyroid testing. And so most doctors only do basic testing. Like I said before, oftentimes most women are struggling with subclinical thyroid disease. And so that's not going to be picked up by most conventional doctors' testing. The way that they interpret the labs is just different than how we as functional medicine doctors interpret those labs. And so you got to get your thyroid properly tested with enough markers, not just 2 markers, but all 9 or 10 that are important, and interpret them the right way once you do get the results. Okay, so that'll help you understand whether there's a thyroid issue or not that needs to be addressed. Nervous system reset, NS, nervous system. So this is helping the brain to relax, helping your body to calm down and adapt to stress more effectively. And so this means using stress management techniques like guided meditation and belly breathing. And one of the easiest ones that we teach all our practice members is just how to stop, breathe in and out through the nose, deep into your belly, not your chest, and how to help your nervous system to calm. Okay, exercising is important for that too. And so relieving stress in whatever favorite way that is for you. Okay, that's nervous system reset. Then we have lifestyle. Of course, lifestyle is crucial. These are all the foundational things like eating a healthy diet that's rich in quality fiber and good protein and good fats, and drinking enough water. H2O is crucial for having bowel movements. Okay. Also having proper posture while you're sitting on the toilet, sitting up straight with your chest open, knees above your hips. And so if you have to put a box underneath your feet, go ahead and do that while you deeply breathe into the belly, again, like we discussed earlier. Okay, a non-stressful breathing pattern with good posture and properly hydrated with enough fiber and protein in your diet. That's going to help your body to naturally have bowel movements. Okay, so that's lifestyle habits. And finally, supplements. And so lean into the lifestyle primarily. Do this first and see how far that gets you. It'll likely make a big difference, make a dent in it at least. And if that doesn't, then we go to supplements. That's what supplements are for. They're not there to replace anything like medication or food. We don't want you to have to rely on medications or supplements for the rest of your life, whether it's like a stool softener or taking Metamucil. Hey, we want you to use your lifestyle to treat the cause and evaluate for which one of these 3, thyroid, brain, bile flow, is causing the issue in the liver here. Hey, but when you need supplements, you need them, right? Short term, while you're figuring out the rest of this stuff. So some of the most helpful supplements that we see with our practice members is magnesium citrate or glycinate. That helps to relax the bowels, and that form of magnesium draws water in to your intestines to ease elimination and help it flow through. Next is psyllium husk. This is a very fibrous part of a plant, of the psyllium plant, that adds gentle bulk to the stool to support motility naturally without irritating. And so you essentially just take a spoonful and put it in water, okay, and you let that absorb and it thickens up and you drink it. Kind of like Metamucil, but more natural. Then we have herbal laxatives. Herbal laxatives are herbs, plants that stimulate movement, stimulate the muscles in your gut to contract gently and to move the stool in the right direction without creating a dependency either, right? So when you use these correctly, these are good quick fixes to support the process, right? Rather than using, think of this as a long-term crutch. It's not a long-term crutch. Like I said, work on addressing the cause of all these things. And in the short term, you use some supports like this, some quick fix herbal laxatives, just to get things moving when you have to. So if nothing's worked for you so far, it's probably because no one's actually identified and addressed the root cause issue here with the right body system, the thyroid, the gut, etc. We do. That's why our clients get results when the basic advice just fails. And so the full supplement protocol, by the way, is in the description. So if you want that kind of short-term support here while we're figuring out the long-term picture, use the link in the description here, all right? Those tools are here to support you short-term while you work on fixing the real problem long-term.